What's up, everyone? Mega Son and Z here, back again for another YouTube video. What's happening? This video gonna be about the Nintendo Switch 2. My thoughts on it, on the price, on the bundle price, and also about the games. Everybody been saying, I've been hearing a lot. Lower the game, lower the price on games, lower the price on games, and you know, we bomb stuff like that. So I rewatch Mario Dashi's Mario Kart Worlds Mario Kart Worlds reaction Nintendo Direct video, and not gonna lie, I do like the game. Now, for the system itself being at $449 for the base model and $499 for the bundle model, it's excuse me, it's a little up there. Now, because of tariffs, I could see that at a point, but the up and down, off again, on again tariff that dumb Trump over there is doing, that's kind of, it is bad. I'm not gonna lie, it's bad. But the thing is, the tariff's not on; it's on pause. So should be back down to like the Switch One cost, and just $400 for the bundle. No, because again, I mean, it will be nice to have that, but again, because of Trump doing up, off again, on again tariffs, go ahead and price it up to 440, no, 449 and 499 bucks. Now, at one point when I saw it, saw the Switch 2 release, I'm like, okay, I like it. When I saw Mario Kart Worlds gameplay trailer, I liked it. Donkey Kong game, I didn't see a Donkey Kong a open world on top of that. Donkey Kong game since Donkey Kong 64. That's back in 96, 98. I think there was somewhere between 96 through 98. Was the last time I saw a open world DK game. No new open world Mario game. That's the first new one, because usually they come out with like 64. They come out with Super Mario 64 as a launch title. They came out with GameCube. Launch title was not Smash. What was that? Sunshine. Super Mario Sunshine for the GameCube. For the Wii, it came out with a launch title. New Super Mario Bros. Wii. I think so. Or I think it was Galaxy. No, Galaxy was on GameCube, but you can play it on the Wii. On the Wii, I think. If not that, I think Galaxy 2 was on the Wii. No, Galaxy 2 was on the Wii. No, it was on the Wii. I think Galaxy 2 came out for the Wii U as an exclusive title, as a launch title. I know New Super Mario Bros. Wii U came out for the Wii U. And then, Switch launch title, Mario Odyssey, along with Mario Kart and, Link and stuff like that. So that's cool. But, back with this, with Mario Kart World as the launch title, with no, standalone Mario game, that is kind of like what? That is kind of new. But I digress. The prices of the games. Now back then, I want to put it up. I want to edit it and throw the images in there, have my voice in the background. Hopefully I could do it. If not, that'd be paused. And you can pause the video to see the prices and whatever like that. But back in the '90s, when I was coming up, and I got like 4 or 5 different images. That showcase from the Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis. That's when the gaming war began. Games on both sides was 60, 70, 80 bucks for games. I'm like, jeez. But see, I wasn't thinking about that because, back when I was young and me and my grandma and my mom, or me and my mom, or all three of us, rest in peace to my grandma, we used to go to Walmart, and I always go, and I still do go to the gaming section. Not as much as like used to, but still do go to the gaming section to see what's new. Like for example, if me and my mom went to Target, and we spend some time with each other, and she's off doing that, I'm like, hey, I'm gonna be in electronics. So look around, see what's new games coming out, and stuff like that. Try it out, play the demo, stuff, normal stuff. But back in the in the '90s, I always do that. Like I said, I've been doing that since I was a kid. But anywho, back in the '90s, I didn't know about pricing and stuff because I thought my folks got the money because we was a middle class when middle class was a thing in the U.S. Games was, like I said, it was 80, 60 bucks, 70 bucks. And I didn't know it was that high, but I remember seeing prices that high. I saw one game that I really want, and it was, what, 49 bucks, 50 bucks. My folks didn't have that at the time. I'm like, I really want it, but okay, whatever. I left it alone, didn't worry about it. Got it for Christmas, cool. The very first system I wanted, and it wasn't a Sega Genesis, to be frankly honest. The first game I wanted, first game system ever I wanted was the Super Nintendo. But the Super Nintendo was $200 at the time, while Sega Genesis was was $150, and I already played Sonic 1 on the Sega Genesis Model 1, and that's the only system I thought Sega came out at the time at my cousin's house. Shout out to my cousins. Anyway, so my folks knew that I liked Sonic and the Sega system, but I didn't want it because I saw Mario and Luigi and Yoshi and all these colors. I'm a kid. I didn't know what shit. So it is what it is. But I'm glad that they did bought me the Sega Genesis Model 2 because the Model 2 came with the Sonic the Hedgehog 2 bundled up for $150. Cheaper than $199 for the Super NES. Even though that bitch is just expensive. I didn't know at the time, but expensive. Go back and get it now. It's cheap-ish. Depends on which third party or which third hander that sells it. It's cheap-ish. But back then, system was high. So why systems and games is so high now is because, to be honest, the gaming market, the gaming industry, third-party developers, AAA developers, big name develops, they got greedy. And the main reason why the game prices have dropped from after 99, 2000, it started to go to, it was going down after 96 because Nintendo was the last and final console still, besides the Game Boy Color. Yeah, the Color and the Game Boy Advance during that time frame, they were still doing cartridges. That's why 64 was like $199 back in it, and 96, 97. So, game prices were starting to drop because people wasn't buying high ass game prices cartridges for $80 back in the 90s. Yeah, I mean, it was a lot buying, but it was starting to decrease. And CDs and PlayStation games and Sega Saturn and Dreamcast games, not a lot of Sega Saturns, but a lot more Dreamcast and PlayStation games. They start increasing sales because the price was so low. $30, $19 for a special edition or it's greatest hits or on sale for $19. $40 brand new. The highest you get is $50. That's like the new standard because they dropped it from 80. I'm like, hey, you know what? Everything's good. Market's good. This, that, and the other good. We're not seeing a lot of sales in cartridges. We're seeing a lot of sales in discs. So we're going to drop the price down to, $50. That's the max. $50. And been $50 for decades, for years, until now that things start going up in price. They boosted from 50, like I said, been $50 for years to $60. Everybody's like, all right, it's a little high, but okay, cool. We good. We good right there at 60. We can do a little bit. Game developers had some issues in making money, this, that, and the other. We get that. Cool. Make it 60. Stay at 60. A few years later, we got now 70s. Like, why certain games at $70? And then it's $70 across the board. It's like, what's going on? Why games is $70? And now Nintendo in 2025, not even a whole 100% year later, oh yeah, games gonna be $80. $79.99. It's like we were just paying 60 like 5 or 4 years ago. Now we're paying damn near $80 for every game. And what's happening is the gaming crash that happened back in the 80s. I think 82, 85, 84, somewhere in that range. Because I was born like a few years after the gaming crash in the 80s. So you calculate, that's how I am. Anywho, so coming up during the time, games was low. Like I said, it was still 80, but it was just coming out of the gaming crash. They're trying to boost the stuff back up. But then, it started dropping because, cartridges was made, it was so much, even though that was probably a lie. That's like pennies on a dollar, but that's the 90s, just, back then. So anywho, so yeah, main reason what I'm saying is the $80 stuff that Nintendo doing, they presetting the gaming market crashes. Or presetting, we are in pre-game gaming market crash all over again. Whatever happened back in the 80s, in the early 80s to mid 80s, right before like 85, I think what the gaming crash was like in 84. Whatever happened during that time is repeating the same thing back over today in 2025. But the only thing difference is it's been mainly pushed by a president who don't really know who paying the tariffs and who's want to attack everybody and just still having like free trade or 10% or 5%, 15%, tariffs, even though it's still high, but 10% was cool because that's all we was paying at first, but up to 15, sweet, 20 high, 25, like what the fuck, 30, like whoa, 5, 10, 15, yeah, cool, but I'm not no politician, but Dang, I forgot what I was saying. Gaming prices now, it's gonna redo the same thing. You're gonna redo the gaming crash of '84. Um, it's just slowly starting to happen. It's not 100%, but since Nintendo made games across the board between 70 and 80 bucks, I don't see a lot of people buying that. And then turn back around to add on to it, well, I kind of see more people not going toward. Well, people got the Switch too. I mean, they already pre-ordered. It's already sold out. But folks who's gonna buy the games down the road gonna be just like me. Well, the ones who's not a big Nintendo fan, who got the money to buy $80+ games every month, or yeah, every month or every year during the Switch 2 release, Switch 2 life. Like me, some folks like myself, who got the Switch 1, or got the OLED version, or getting the Switch 2, or pre-ordered the Switch 2, or the light version, doesn't matter what version of Switch you got. You probably got like between 7 to maybe 15, maybe 20 games, give or take. I say maximum, the minimum, probably like 10, 8, somewhere in that range. And maximum like 20 physical copies, right? And you don't feel like going to the store or whatever, so you just buy most of it on your, on your system. Like I said, like I do. Which is cool and all. And you mix in both digital and physical media sales. You putting money in both Nintendo hands on both parts. Physical and digital. But with the Switch 2 and the Switch key, the new gaming key cards, it's like, why spend 80 bucks on both versions, getting the physical edition, and then to make around buying, like, say, a digital edition Japanese game, since American games is only, the worldwide is only region unlocked, while Japan version Switch 2 is locked for some odd reason. Why, I do not know, but okay. Buying another game for 80 bucks, but the physical game I got for 80 bucks, like Sonic Shadow Generations, for example, I gotta download the rest from the internet that says that I can play the game for free while double dipping. So I just bought an $80 license for a game card with no game in it, just the software for it. So it's like, what? You know what I'm saying? That type of stuff is like, that's dumb. And then when you sit down and actually think about it, it's like, that's really stupid. But now, I understand. There'll be folks like, well, just buy digitally. Everything going digital. Anyway, you don't need physical media. Me, I like physical. Yes, I like digital because it's quick, it's convenient, it's right there at your fingertips. Cool. Like earlier, not that long ago, I bought the DC Cross Sega or DC Cross Sonic issues 1, 2, and coming up pre-order issue 3. Boom, right there at the fingertips. But at the same time, I do want to go out, re-dip back into the same market, but for physical, to have it, paper, in paperback. I want to see it, I want to feel it, I want to say, hey, I got this, I own this. So if anything happened to my stuff digitally, I got a physical copy. Same thing with games. And I can't stress this enough. I think I said this before, and other people said it before too. Having the full game downloaded and put onto your disc or cartridge means that you own that game. When you pay 40, 50, 30 bucks 20, $10, because gaming stores got the sales, bad games or games that's not that good, but reality it really is for like 10, $5, $3, like at game exchange, stuff like that. Or paying high price like 80, 90, $60 for a game, $50 for a game, and the full game is downloaded. Full game is already on your disc. You own that copy. Excuse me. Like for example, sorry, neighbor. For example, Call of Duty, Black Ops 2. No, better. Whew, excuse me, coffee. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, the OG version. Now, the OG version, I can play it on 360 and the PS3. Got the DLC. I don't think it got DLC. I don't think DLC was on OG Modern Warfare. I gotta go back and look. It probably was. I don't think it was. Anywho, I could play the full game, the no rushes mission, multiplayer, everything right there on my native PS3 and 360 hardware. Okay, I got the physical disc on PS3. Yeah, I got the physical disc on PS3. Got the digital. I think I got digital on my PS4. Not PS4. 360. I think I do. I did have the physical disc for 360, but I got the digital campaign remade for 4. You see what I'm saying? So if anything happened to Sony and that stuff gets shut down, get turned off, guess what? I can't play and access that game no more. Just like this, for example. I got Marvel vs. Capcom 2 downloaded on my... I bought the game and everything, and I downloaded it to my Xbox 360. Now, I connect the internet back up and play it, because it's going to be somewhat on, but guess what? I'm thinking, I think it's still, I think so. Xbox cut off the servers for the Xbox 360, I think. So you can't buy games online, you can't play the games that you download online no more. The games that you did had, that's just gone because everybody moved over to Xbox One. Some folks themselves don't have Xbox One. They just like original old school stuff like the 360 and the PS3. Cool. Yeah, I can mod it, hack it, and and get all the games on the 360, but I don't want to do that because I don't want to break my console. But beside the point, on the PS4, for example, and Switch, I could play MVC2 on my current, last gen console on both Switch and also PS4. Yes, I could play it on Switch 2. Yes, I could play it on the PS5 if I get them. But, you know what I'm saying? I can still play it, so it's cool. So I don't really worry about the Xbox version. But you see the continuity behind it, though. Put it on an old system that was running good for a time, move on to the next system, you gotta cut that lifeline off. Cut that lifeline off, guess what? Games, people who downloaded, who bought it, who saved, whatever, that junk's gone. You still buy stuff off of it, but you gotta go through a different software, you gotta go through a different hardware. Now since we got the Xbox Series X and S, you gotta go through the different hardware to just buy the legacy game for 2 consoles ago. Because that main console system online capability is turned off. So it's like, what? And then come back around, they make it even harder to go back and buy the old school console games because they want to put it and flip it around and make you buy it again. If not that, put it into a subscription service like NSO or NSO Plus or NSOE. Nintendo expansion pack, Nintendo Online, Nintendo Online Services system expansion. Anywho, and you gotta replay it that way, but you're not owning them. It's done. Game developers Now, some of y'all that's probably watching this, they're probably like, we don't care, we're doing it because we want to get money. And I already know who actually is the CEOs and the owners of the company and making everything like ass for every gaming developer out here. I get it. But, and also I do know that some people out there who putting everything onto that game cartridge. So, you don't have to download the whole entire game to your hard drive or to the console itself. Like Spyro, for example, because that was like, what the hell? That's the beginning of basically what's going to happen. And to be frankly honest, I think it was the Spyro and the Crash collection. No, it was just Spyro because the Crash got all 3 games on disc. The Spyro collection, you bought the game, you could play game 1, but you download game 2 and 3. That was a test run. Nintendo got it and found it and like, hey, we can do this right here. Put the license on the cartridge, everything downloaded from our servers. I mean, yeah, I understand they're trying to stop, hacking and stuff because Switch 1 had a lot of hacking and exposing games a lot back then. But this way, I see the idea and I see the way they could do it to stop folks for leaking out games beforehand. But anyway it goes, man, people gonna hack it. People gonna find info. It's 2025. We got info at the fingertips now. People can have hacked phones at their fingertips. Like, come on, man. It's like Watch Dogs, but real life. But game developers, if y'all can, like on a serious note, can y'all please put everything on the cartridge as best you can? Not like the license and then download the stuff, because that's mainly going back to my main point on the $80 games, because the more you do it, the less thing we're gonna pay, because everything's too high anyway. Xbox increased their prices on systems and games and accessories. Nintendo keeping the price as is for all games. Sony is trying not to, but it's slowly about to increase their prices on consoles and games and accessories. And they trying to see what's going on with the stock market and what's going on with Trump with this tariff shit. But after a while, it's gonna be the game crash of '84 or the early '80s. It's just gonna repeat our past, man. And try not to be off topic, off of games, but just a slide. Because this is the ending of the video. The stuff that's going on in the world right now, it's basically what happened back in the days when white folks didn't like all nationality. Let that sink in. Oh, and also, some of the stuff that happened back in the day in real world history, Chinese, also the Asian Americans who came to this country for salvation, yeah, the same act will happen. And also, they, did some unaliving of a lot of people back during them time frames. So, let that just sink in. Marinate your brain juices to be like, oh shit, I see what the current administration did while what the past administration did during World War, I think World War One, or right after or right before. It's either right before, during, or right after. It's one of the two. But yeah, and all this Nintendo, I know y'all not gonna drop the prices, and to be frankly honest, Switch games that's $60 still, and or $50 that never freaking came down, like Hyrule Warriors, for example, the Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition, the first one, that's still $59 for some given reason. Why? Even though that game came out since 2018, 2017? Why? Like, drop the prices. Stop being greedy. Stop being a mafia, because that's what y'all originally was, and I think y'all still is. Stop being corrupted business people. Drop your prices, and make it into no fun again. Like President, rest in peace, Urata. He made gaming fun, and you know what I'm saying. He made gaming reasonable and fun, cause he knew what's going on, and also he was a gamer. So rest in peace, Urata. Thank you, Nintendo President of America, former Nintendo President of America. I mean, Reggie, my body is ready. Frieza Man, for making the GameCube, Wii, and the Wii U saga one of the best, and parts of the Switch, original Switch saga, the best gaming consoles of all time. Besides the Virtual Boy. The Virtual Boy is kind of bad. But then again, that's before, I think it's before Reggie and before Iwata. I think that was under the original president and father of Nintendo. But yeah, anyway, I'm out. Peace.